So there's a sentence that lives rent-free in my head, and it goes a little something like this. Boredom leads to creativity. It's a simple sentence, but it means a lot. I think in today's day and age, we spend a lot of time entertaining ourselves through podcasts, music, movies, audiobooks, anything to kind of occupy our mind. And that's fine, but there needs to be a point in the day where you give your mind a break. I know that I spend a lot of time listening to podcasts and music, especially when I work out or when I'm working. But there are moments where I'm driving and I lose cell service, or I'll be riding my bike and my battery will die. And all of a sudden I have all this quietness, obviously nature around me, but my mind starts resetting and ultimately leading me to have new thoughts that are tapped into my imagination. And a lot of times that's when I have to kind of stop what I'm doing because the ideas are so good that I have to write them down in my notes. And I know that if I don't, I'll lose it forever. Kind of like you had a really good dream and you're like, man, what did I dream about last night? I can't remember. And that sentence tends to ring really true during the winter time. But during that time, we come up with really neat ideas because we're looking into new things. We come across something that kind of piques our interest. And I know that a couple winters ago, that's when I decided, oh, you know what? I do want to do beekeeping this year, and I think I'm ready to do that. So obviously, I bought a hive, not knowing anything. And then I called my neighbor who ended up being my mentor for bee removals and beekeeping. And I asked him, can I get some bees from you? And he said, you can definitely get some bees from me in the next month when we'll go do a bee removal, but you need to educate yourself while you don't have them because it's important to know as much as possible. And I was like, I know plenty. I've watched plenty of stuff online. I've known about bees for a long time, and I was really wrong. I spent the very first year of beekeeping constantly messing up. From beetles to freezes to robber bees and everything in between, I failed almost my entire first year of beekeeping. And obviously, most beekeepers tend to have somebody that might be able to help them or have a club that will help them fix problems in real time, but that wasn't the case for me. I was kind of alone in this, and I started doing bee removals after that. And in that first year of bee removals, I had a really bad incident where I got hurt and it really freaked me out, but it made me reconsider the whole bee livelihood because it made me feel like I wasn't a good steward of these bees, whether I was trying to save them or the ones that I did save. And because I didn't feel efficient and I didn't feel like I was doing my job correctly, I had to rebuttal by doing some more research and reaching out to different people that were more experienced than me, and also looking into what can I have right now that can give me basic information. And so one of the solutions to that was this book called The Beekeeper's Bible. And this book has been an awesome asset as a beekeeper and as a bee removal specialist. And I'm so mad at myself for not getting it probably the moment I decided to start beekeeping. This book has 4 different parts, which are all really interesting. As a history buff, I was really excited to have a bee history section to start off with because that allowed me to really dive deep into the book and feel excited about it, especially as a non-reader. I tend to learn things visually, and there's plenty of visuals in here to help you. But it's super interesting to know kind of a detailed history, at least a majority of it, all laid out in front of you to understand where we started and how we got to where we are today. The second part is the practicality of beekeeping. So anything from A to Z that a beekeeper would need to know. So when you first have your bees and getting ready to harvesting honey and getting ready for the winter, anything in between there is inside this book. Just like its name suggests, it's extremely practical because it allows you to remind yourself of certain things. I think that even though we can do it year over year, we do certain sections of beekeeping once a year in certain parts of the season. And so it's important to kind of look back as a reference and say, okay, yeah, I need to add this to my checklist before we get started. One of the sections in here talks a lot about plants and habitats and behaviors, things that you're not really too much in control of, but that you can have a helping hand in. And I think that's really helpful because it allows you to be part of the ecosystem that you're building versus just being a wrangler of bees. And then the rest of the book is recipes and things about honey, and you can learn about the colors and the pHs and taste and how certain people grade things, or what you can do with your honey and the byproducts that bees produce, like wax, like making candles or making mead, which is a type of alcohol that you can make from honey. The Beekeeper's Bible has been a great asset for me because it was useful in the beginning and is still useful now as I'm getting ready to prepare my bees for the spring. I can remind myself and reference certain things just to be sure that I have everything on my list. So if you're getting into beekeeping or thinking about getting into beekeeping, or you already are and you feel lost like I did, this book is a great asset. I can't recommend it enough. Because it will be useful in the beginning and it will continue being useful later in your journey with bees. If you're interested in reading this book and adding it to your education and having it ready for the next bee season, you can find a direct link in the description and in the link in my bio. I hope that helps. If you have any questions about the book or about anything bee related, feel free to reach out. We'll catch you on the next one.